Everybody run to class, run to class!
Huh?
I thought I had the classroom bell ring. So why are you still outside? High school in Africa. What a life, man. Forget how hard math class was for you, cause here, surviving the teachers was the real test. From the teacher who thought was the president of the country with them hour-long morning speeches to the one who borrowed your pen and never gave it back. Every African student knows these legends, so grab your seat and pay close attention, cause today I'm gonna be talking about... Okay, so the following are the types of high school teachers. First, we got the angry teacher. Man, being angry for these teachers was a straight up hobby. And peep this, their iconic look is that they do be carrying 2 pens and a few pieces of whiteboard chalks on the chest pocket and a handkerchief on the back pocket. And they always be walking with a cane, man. These teachers are the type to finish eating their breakfast as quickly as possible during the morning break and start walking around the classroom area 5 minutes before the break is over just so they can chase students 30 seconds after the classroom bell rings. And trust me, you don't want to be in a 3-meter radius when they are active, cause yes, that's how far the cane stretches. Like when these teachers set foot in the school premise, every student's mood goes low. Like they low-key be like Muzan when he was entering Kagaya's house. Like I remember this one teacher, let's call him Mr. Kane. Now he always pulled up to school with his bicycle, and I'm not even exaggerating. This dude had a cane on the basket, bro. His bike would always make this loud squeaky noise when he hit the brakes, and this shit was so loud everybody in the school would hear it. What makes this memory special was that he was never late. Like he always showed up at around 6:30 sharp. And at this day, we were celebrating and the atmosphere felt really peaceful because he was late. Up until the morning break, there was no sign of him, man. And after the morning break, we had his class and it was a double session. So everybody was happy because the teacher ain't there. And when the teacher ain't there, we just be chilling, making noise, causing trouble, you know, typical things kids do, you know. And we had a double session, so it was guaranteed freedom for 80 minutes straight. The bell goes off to indicate that the break is over. We enter the classroom and 5 minutes later, the entire school was quiet. Guess what we hear? This nigga pulls up to school, parks his bike, didn't even go to the office. He straight up pulled up to the class and started teaching him, bro. The entire energy in the classroom felt like somebody died. The second type is the fine shit. Like, yo, these teachers just do be fine for no reason. Like, they're the type to piss you off just cause they that pretty and you know you'll never have them, man. Like, why? Why, huh? Why do you gotta be that bad, man? Why you gotta do us like this, man? Now I'm a guy, so I'll be talking about my madams and my misses. I kid you not, bro, these are the type of teachers to make male teachers get into beefs and stuff. And it gets deadly when you get a hot teacher who is also nice in an all-boys boarding school. Bro, absolute kryptonite right there. I went to an all-boys boarding school and the name is Fine. Let's call her Miss Fine Shit because she was fine and shit. Walked in the school compound is the day I'll never forget. Before I tell you that story, I gotta say, Miss Fine, she was built like a goddess. And by a goddess, I mean everything was packing in all the right places. And my boys that I went to school with would vouch for me when I say that she had that Nicki Minaj body build, bro. And no teacher in my country can afford a baby girl, so that she was natural. That booty was natural, bro. So it was a free period and I was drawing and I felt an earthquake. I look up and everybody's on the other side of the class in the windows, bro. So I'm like, what's going on? And before I could even process it, the entire classroom was running towards me. They trying to get to the windows and the windows were a little bit tall, so you gotta stand up to see, right? I peeped to see what they looking at and bro, I saw Miss Fine Shit, bro. And guess what? This didn't just happen in my class. It happened to all classes in the entire school, bro. We all thought she was a visitor visiting or something because nobody saw her after that. Up until the next day when she got officially introduced as a teacher in the school parade. And when the headmaster said that she'll be teaching my class, bro, everybody cheered like it's New Year's, bro. The other type is the Mr. Don't Care. These teachers do be moving emotionless, like they don't smile, they ain't sad, they ain't funny, and they are boring. Like the moment they enter the classroom and open their mouth, you just start sleeping. Call that nap time. And you think maybe they would wake you up or yell at you or even, you know, like smack your head or something? Hell no, they literally don't care. Like I feel like these are the type of guys who have never saw him after that day. We didn't see him, he just disappeared. Another type is the tweaker, bro. Now these teachers are dangerous. You know why? Because these guys are super unpredictable. Like, they're the type to go from 0 to 100 in a split second. They low-key be moving like Kanye minus the talent. Like, they're the type to be laughing and making jokes in class, talking about how Miss Fine shit is fine for an entire 30 minutes, then hit you with a pop quiz 10 minutes before class is over. All my life, bro, I put that on my mama. I saw that. It happened to me. Hey, yo, you good? My fault. Like, you don't want to be too friendly with these guys because they're the type to smile at your face when they're whooping your ass for being half a mark below the pass mark. Like, they can't just let that shit go. At the same time, they be telling you that you their favorite students. You just pure emotional abuse, man. For my Western audience, I just want you to understand one thing. Africa is a whole continent filled with over 50 countries, and each country has their own history, cultures, and tradition. However, there are things that we have in common, or in better words, are relatable to all of us, and the school system is one of them. Basically a similar but not the same situation. I'm born, raised, and live in Tanzania, which is located at the east side of the continent, famous for amazing tourist attraction sites. Like we got the tallest mountain in the whole continent, bro. Peak national parks. And have you ever heard of Zanzibar? Yeah, nigga, we own that shit, bro. It belongs to us. Before the sun is out and before you hear the beautiful sound of the morning birds, you are hit with... Yup, that's your 5 a.m. alarm letting you know that your day has just begun. And before you even brush your teeth or take a shower, you gotta make sure that the house is clean, compound swept, breakfast made, cause at that big age of yours, you're not only a child in the family, you are also a part-time housemaid. Around 6 a.m. you are done with all the chores, you're done showering, and you peep the drip to see how smart you look. Nothing fancy, you know, it's your everyday uniform. So you pick up your lunch money assuming that mommy left it that day and you are on your way to school. As you walk by the street, this big yellow bus parks next to you. It ain't for you. It's for the kids who go to private schools, you know, schools that pay school fees, have better studying facility, better quality education, and so you envy that life. You think, how would life be if I also went to private schools? But before you get deep into those depressing thoughts, your buddies show up. The people who actually make school life exciting. And as you look at them, you remember, man, life is still good. I mean, I don't need a better school to have fun. I have my boys. You get to school and the BS begin. You clean the classrooms, go to school parade, go to class, and see through different teachers. Teachers. These guys. The teachers in public school ain't the best. I mean, heck, they ain't even there to make your life better. All they do is yap around, roast yours life, teach a little, then leave you with assignments, pop quizzes, or just spend the entire session writing on the blackboard, because apparently not all of you can afford textbooks, so you copy notes in order to read for yourself later at home. Sometimes teachers come with your test papers and they have to distribute them to you, ranking you from worst to best, and as every name is being called, you pray that yours is later, not because you care about the scores you got, but because with each name being called, the amount of leaks keep getting lesser and lesser. But you ain't the smartest, and you also ain't the dumbest, so eventually you get called, get your leaks, take your paper, and go sit down. Morning break comes by, and these are the best, man. I mean, for once you get to go outside, man. You get to play with your friends, raise the girls, buy some food snacks like ground nuts, fried cassava, ice cream popsicles. The list goes on, and I gotta say, these foods ain't the healthiest, but dang do they slap. Depending on the day and how much money mommy gave you, you may end up eating in both morning breaks and the lunch breaks, but most of the time you skip eating snacks in the morning breaks because judging by the amount of money you got, you'd rather save that for lunch. But one of your boys' mom loves him a little bit more, so his mom gives him a little bit more money, and instead of being a selfish bastard, he buys the whole gang popsicles. You all enjoy that, play a little bit more, then the bell rings to signal that it's time for class. You go back to class, make some noise in class cause the teacher ain't there. Heck, there's no better time for a rap battle if you ask me. But doing so gets you in the noisemakers list cause you sit in the backbench and the backbench has never beat the noise-making allegations. So you are in trouble with the teacher on duty. Man, at this point can't this day just end? Finally, the bell you've all been waiting for. It's the 4 p.m. home time bell. You and your boys start making your way back home, And here you get to see all the friend groups as they are also making their way back home. From the big bully weed smokers to the baddest of baddies, the athletes and the nerds. But you are 15, young and horny, so your entire group gravitates towards the ladies. Not the baddies, cause that's way out of your league. So you go for the cuties, the 6, 7 out of 10 at best. But it doesn't take much long for you to realize that you suck at rizzing, so you fumble the bag. And what do you do after that? You spend the rest of your walk talking to the boys till you all split and everybody goes home. The moment you enter your house, you pray that your siblings have left some food for you, because apparently they come back home earlier than you. I mean, they are younger, so school ends at 1 p.m. for them while it ends at 4. But today is your lucky day, because there is your leftover rice and beans with a cup of tea on the side. What more could you ask for? After your meal, you do the dishes, water your mom's garden, and around 7 p.m., mommy comes back home. You welcome her with a big smile. She makes you food as you do your homework, write notes, or study a little. She serves you all dinner, you all eat, pray, go to bed, and that right there is the average high school life of a student who goes to a public school in Africa. There are 3 types of high schools in Africa that I want to talk about, and I gotta say, high school in Africa is a really special experience. From strict boarding schools that have shit food and military-like routines to them single-sex schools where hormones control every student's behavior. Heck, even private schools where the entire price of the school fees could feed a generation. Buddy, you get all that in Africa. Now, it's true that the type of school you went to could literally shape your worldview as a teenager. Not only that, but the quality of education and lifestyle too. Now, I'll be speaking specifically about the schools in Tanzania because that's where I'm born and raised, but I'm pretty sure that this is the way stuff is in the entire continent with just a few differences here and there. So behold! The following are the types of high schools in Africa. First, we got the public schools. Now, these ain't your regular public high schools, like the ones you see in Hollywood with kids wearing designer clothes, football fields with grass, and students eating burgers and fries for lunch. Nah, it all begins with y'all wearing uniforms as a requirement, head shaved bald, and don't get me started on the time you're supposed to get to school cause buddy, you can't be a single second late. Students are required to come with or pay for some cleaning equipments like brooms and slashes in the beginning of the year cause there's no such thing as a janitor in public schools. Students are the janitors. Breakfast and lunch depends on how much money your parents give you each day, and it's not like you enter a cafeteria, place an order and have your food on a plate. Hell no! In here we have food vendors. Like people come to school during the 10 a.m. morning break and the 1 p.m. lunch break, serving you with stuff like popsicles, fried cassavas, groundnuts, rice and beans, plantains, and mostly this food is served on plastic bags, and I gotta say, this shit really do slap. So if your parents didn't give you any money due to whatever reasons, mainly financial struggles, then you better pray that you have friends that can support you, or else you'll have to thug it out the entire day. This is why it's not in our culture to be nonchalant or a loner. Hunger eats all that shit away. Like, what do you do when it's lunchtime? You don't talk to no one and you got no lunch money, huh? What do you do, Mr. Nonchalant? One thing that sucks about public schools in Africa is the disciplinary actions teachers take when a student makes a mistake. Like, getting whooped in school is like IG models and BBLs. It's everywhere, every time. Be late to school, pow. Be a mark below the pass mark, pow. Getting caught going to the bathroom by the teacher on duty during class time. Buddy, it's straight up, pow. Like, teachers in here ain't looking for reasons to improve students and actually make them better. The only thing they're looking for is reasons to whoop your ass. But I gotta say, one thing that is good about public schools is that it truly gives people grit and prepares you for harsh realities and toughness of the third world. But everything else, including the level of education, it's not the best. Like, it really takes hard work for a student to actually pass the national exams. And these exams are the ones that determine whether or not you pass to go to advanced level education or university. And boy, the amount of students who do not make it is insane. This is the stuff that makes me appreciate and be grateful that I was born in an okay, doing better, middle class, normal family, because my family could afford to give me a better education. And that brings us to the second type, and the type that I went in, and that is private schools. Private schools in Africa have subdivisions within them. And this is based off of your gender, which we only have two in Africa by the way, and the amount of money you pay for school fees. Like most private high schools do be boarding schools that are either boys or girls schools. Like for some reason, parents in my country have been convinced that single-sex schools are better than normal schools for teens from the ages of 12 to 19, and they ain't wrong cause we're honey. So most private high schools are single-sex and boarding schools, and the law goes just like this. First of all, every student is forced to speak English, as in if you're caught speaking Swahili, bro, it's straight up pow. And it's like this cause English is the superior language of the world. Like, come on man, we all know that. Wake up time was one of the worst things about boarding schools cause they would wake us up at 5 a.m, sometimes even 4:30 a.m. And mind you, we went to bed at 10 p.m. And it's not like when you get to bed you just fall asleep. You'd have to go through war with these good-for-nothing purposeless pests called bedbugs. So every night felt like you slept for a second. And don't get me started on the food, bro. Like, oh my god, this is where we were scammed. Like, yo, the food we eat is ass, like complete garbage. These fools be feeding us ugali beans, and the way your mom cooks this dish is way different from how the schools do it. For my Western audience, let me tell you what ugali beans is. Well, ugali is this tasteless ball thing you made from mixing wheat, water, and heating it up. And ugali itself doesn't make sense, so you gotta eat it with a side dish. And the side dish could be anything from beans, meat, sardines, vegetables. You get the gist. Like your mom will have them beans filled with ingredients like onions, carrot, green pepper, salt, and a little bit of Royco on top of it, you know, to give it that heavy, saucy, rich taste. Wanna know how they make it in school? Well, the ugali is made the same everywhere, so that don't matter. The beans though, they just take the beans, boil them in water, pour in salt, add a little bit of kerosene in order to control those raging hormones of yours, then boom, you're eating this piece of garbage every lunch and dinner. And if you are lucky enough, you might have one lunch a week where you eat meat, or a few dinners where you eat rice and beans. Like I said, the fees you pay matter. So better food, better infrastructure, better education is based on how much school fees you pay. Cause there are some private schools that have really good food, better sleeping hours, and as you guessed it, yes, they are the leading ones in national exam grades. The similarities between private and public schools is that we all get it. Like, just because you go to private school, that don't mean you escape the whooping. And also, we all do the same exams in the final year, the national exams, and we do study the same curriculum. So from the jump, the game is rigged for my homies in public school, cause how can you compete with dudes who have an entire system created for them to study while you have to face family struggles, home chores, and everything that's going on in your streets? Like guys, public school students have it rough, man. But you know what? Public and private schools don't even matter when it comes to this type right here, cause this type is the elite. Like they are the superiors when it comes to the hierarchy of schools in Africa. International schools, your time has come. Two major things that separate the international schools from the other types above is that these guys are so lit that they don't study the normal national curriculum. This dude be on that Cambridge or K-12, Americans, please help me here. And the school fees this guy pay per year, yo, I can't even say. These schools low-key do got it all, man. From the best studying environment, high quality education, elite sports facilities, and every black man's kryptonite. Nobody's my fault. Like most, if not, let me rephrase it. All the kids who study in these schools are rich kids, all the way from kids whose families come from different countries and live as diaspora residents to government official kids. So the world these guys grew in is different. Now, just like private schools, they also have classes within them, and that is based on how much money your school fees cost. Like most of my friends who went to these schools, they told me that they were in the low end of the hierarchy, as in there are elites within elites, and that keeps making me ask the question, where are you guys, huh? Where do you live? I'm not gonna lie, as a kid, I low-key envied kids who studied in international schools, cause why not? I mean, they went to schools that you saw in movies. Meanwhile, you have to worry about your 6'5" dark-skinned Jaluo math teacher who gives you anxiety the moment he set foot in school. And one more thing about these guys is that they don't get whooped, Man, like, golly! From what I've heard, man, international schools literally make kids become great. Like, bro, the school system, the facilities, the teaching styles, it just elevates kids into becoming better. And the quality of education beats the private schools and the government schools. Like, if you study in international schools, you can study anywhere in the world, anytime, no problem. And it's not like you can't with public and private schools. It's just that with international schools, it's way better and easier. But wanna know what? If there's one thing you need to take away from this video, is that you should never allow the school you go to dictate your future. Also, please stop with the division, man. Like, this goes to everyone because the stigma in the society is crazy. Like, you got some rich kids who look down on poor kids and some poor kids who envy rich kids, so they bully them into feeling bad for being born rich. Like, come on, man, we don't choose the families we are born in. So despite the school you go to and how your life is shaped, don't feel bad about it. In fact, be proud and enjoy, because if there's one thing I've learned about African high schools, is that at the end of the day, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter the ups and downs, this will always be some of the best days in your life. There's a few types of games that I played as a kid that I want to talk about today, and I gotta say, this was some of the best times that I had growing up. Now, I know that we have different cultures and we all had our own types of games growing up. But how about I give y'all a taste of the games kids play in Africa, specifically Tanzania, where I was born and raised, because trust me, you've never seen this anywhere else before. First, we have the Boduna, or just like my homies in South Africa will call it, Guababa. Now, Dobo is a Swahili word that stands for nutmeg, and Dunda originally stands for bounce, but in football terms it means beat up. You should be warned, this is the second most violent and dangerous game you can ever play. And if you're wondering which one's the first, stick till the end of the video to find out. So how this game works is that there will be a solid number of players, a football, and a post. Each player is a solo player, as in there's no teams. The goal of the game is to make sure that you nutmeg any and as much players as possible, but at the same time, you should avoid to get nutmegged yourself. For those who don't understand football lingo, a nutmeg is when a player crosses the ball in between another player's legs. The reason as to why you should avoid a nutmeg at all costs is that when you get a nutmeg, each and every player will have full permission to beat up any part of your body until you are able to run away and make your way and touch the post. So from the jump, this already sounds like a red flag, but a boy's mind doesn't work like that. By the time we're on that field about to start playing, I bet we all be thinking, when else will I get the opportunity to violate and then beat up these fools with no fear of retaliation? Like, I remember this time back in high school when me and one of my boys, for the sake of this video we're gonna call Jason, decided that it was a good idea to participate in this game. The key characters in this story were Thomas, Ali, and Joshua. I'm not gonna mention the rest of the players' names because it was like 8 of us, but all you should know is that me and Jason weren't the biggest guys there. In fact, it was the first time for both of us playing this game with these behemoths, so we were fresh meat and that automatically gets us a target on our backs. We gather around and get ready to play. We throw the ball up, and as soon as the ball landed on the ground, this nigga Ali pulls a Bachu and nutmegs me, Jason, and Joshua at the same time. He stops, turn, then point at the 3 of us while having the biggest, most menacing smirk on his face. I instantly start booking it, bro. My entire vision focusing at the post. I must have had my Sharingan on that, plus the help of my ancestors, because I was able to dodge all the hands that tried to catch me. I made it to the post, and another hand touches the post. I look up, and it's Jason. But wait a minute, it was 3 of us. So I turn around and this nigga Thomas was holding Joshua as he was trying his level best to fight for his life, but he was too late because the level of jumping that took place at this field was historic. Joshua got jumped so hard to the point that this guy stopped, walked away, and the game ended right then and there, leaving Joshua in the iconic Yamcha pose, tears coming out his eyes and all his pride stripped away from him. Second on the list is Ready. Now, Ready is a game played by girls. What does the word mean? I don't know. What I know though is that its biggest spectators were boys. This game is similar to dodgeball, but it's not dodgeball. So you'd have one girl on one side and another girl on the opposite side, and as many match girls you want in the center. The goal of the game is for the 2 girls to eliminate as many players as possible by hitting them with this tiny ball that fits on your hand that's made from piling up sand inside the socks, rounding it up with more socks, then it makes a ball. The winner of the game is determined by the much more points a player at the center have by successfully catching the ball that's being thrown at them, and the last one standing. So you might be wondering, Why would young boys be interested in a girl's game? I also didn't know up until this one day back in primary school when one of my boys pulled me from playing soccer all the way to where the girls were playing, go through the crowd, and he was like, "You always wonder why we love this game and cheer like our lives depend on it. Watch." It took me some time to understand what was going on, up until I noticed the pattern of cheering, because these dudes would only cheer when the girls attempted to catch the ball, because they caught the ball using their skirts, leaving a view that we saw down there, and I was like, oh my god! So this is why y'all love this game! Eventually, the viewership of the male audience of this game started going down, and that's because the girl caught up to the scheme and updated the regulations of the game by tying their sweaters on their waist and using them instead of the skirt to catch the ball. Third on the list is Mpira Visoda. Mpira means ball and Visoda means bottle tops. You see, while you are busy playing FIFA, or as they call it these days with this fraud of a name, FC, we had our own version of that, minus the console, controller, and the TV, of course. What we do is that we draw a soccer field on sand or concrete, arrange the bottle tops with different football formations just like how they do it in the beginning of every football match, and then place any tiny round seed and use it as a ball, and take rounds hitting this seed with the bottle tops till it reaches the opponent's goal and score. You see, I don't care what you think about sports, but there's a reason as to why football is the greatest game to ever exist. Because anything football related is always taken seriously. It's a life or death matter. Bro, I remember just how many rules we had for this game, the amount of official tournaments and the prizes we had. Like, we would collect entry fees to play this game and use that money to buy a whole box of bubblegum with the winner taking it all. And bro, the level of competition, imagination, frustration, and dopamine this game gave was amazing. Like, you may have had your PlayStation growing up, and trust me, I wish I had one too, but this game may have been one of the greatest things ever invented. Like, whoever made this game, if you are dead or alive, just know that you gave our whole generation the greatest joy they could ever dream of. The last game on the list is by far the most dangerous game I done ever played as a kid. This game is so dangerous, I've never had a chance to know its name. So what happens here is that a bunch of y'all crash outs gather around and squat around the stick that is placed on a huge pile of sand. And what y'all do is that y'all randomly take out the sand, making sure that the stick doesn't fall. For whoever is responsible for making the stick fall will be beaten until they make their way to a selected mark, which is either a pole or a tree. Similar to Boduna, but not the same. You see, the reason this game is more dangerous than Boduna is that with Boduna you are standing, you're already running, your blood is pumping, so your accelerator is already on. But with this one, y'all are squatting and on zero acceleration, so from the jump, you are on a negative. I've only ever played this game once and never again. I would have told you why, but that's a story for another day. Word of advice to anyone who's responsible for the stick to fall though: never trip, don't fall, don't explain yourself to anybody, and last but not least, don't look back when you are running, just run. Your life is already in danger. Or this is a game that's meant for kids, but should have come with that WWE cord. You know, they don't try this at home, school, or anywhere else. It is that dangerous. So yeah guys, those are the games that I wanted to share. I mean, there's more of course, like pushing tires, hide and seek, water guns and play fights, and so much more, but I'll save those for another day. Let me know down in the comments section what games you played as a kid, or the new games kids play these days, cause I'm kinda knocking on the unk status, goddamn man. Also, I would like to give a special shout out to all of y'all, man. Listen guys, you guys are the great, you guys are the best. I wanna say thank you so much. It's happening, like I'm seeing this community grow. You guys are sharing my videos, y'all is liking them too, man. Yo, what? Hey man, listen, thank you so much. Like, I'm just a dude, an artist making art, and y'all like my art, man. This really gives me joy, so thank you guys so much. Don't stop now, we gotta keep going though, so hit the like button, share the video, subscribe if you're new, and amen. Stay safe in them streets. Von out.